Drop the point. Drop the point. Drop the point. Drop the point. No zero ham bone. Gonna drop the point. Drop the point. No zero ham bone. What is the point? Drop the point.
Hello world and welcome to another episode of Drop the Point. I am Hambone and I'm joined here with Noel Xero. What up, Xero?
Not much, man. Phobos for life.
Phobos for life. It makes its triumphant return to the series. Well, when we left you guys last week, we were talking about all the goodness that TTK has to offer. And we have the same theme for this week. But before we jump into that, let me go ahead and get this out of the way. If you want to send us a question, and that can be about anything gaming related, whether it's how to stream, set up YouTube, whatever you got, you can send that to onpoint@AimAssistGaming, or you can follow us on Twitter @AimAssistGaming, and you can tweet us out and we'll tweet you back. So with that out of the way, let's jump into this episode of Drop the Point. This week, TTK continues to surprise us as we got the Paradox mission on the daily, another divergent mission where if you followed the actual storyline of the Paradox daily, you could go ahead and get your 15 marks, or you could divert and go on a whole nother freaking little mini quest. So Xero, did you do the Paradox mission? And if so, tell us about it.
Yeah, so I did do the Paradox. I had an idea that there was, like, especially after the videos came out with people glitching into that room that ended up being where we go. I definitely knew that it was going to be there when that daily popped up. And so then, of course, I got hit up by all our AIM Nation people that are amazing. They're like, hey, come do this. And so I think it was me and Sir Miz.
Smooth.
Yeah. Me and him went through it and, got all the ghosts, got into the room, got the chest, went in, turned the ghost. I think we all thought that was going to be another exotic weapon. And so it was just a teensy-weensy little bit disappointing because we wanted an exotic and we got a ghost. But we got some cool lore, like hearing Praedyth talk about the Vex and all that. It was a cool mission. Like hearing more from Praedyth was really cool.
Right. Absolutely. Did you get a legendary engram from that too?
I did. That actually, I didn't decrypt till just a minute ago and got my year 2 exotic from it. Year 2 last word.
Oh, the hatred will be real just in time for trials. So, yeah, I don't know about you, but the last word is still a murderer to me in PvP in the right board.
Yeah.
In the right map.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good, close to mid-range weapon.
Absolutely. And as far as the Paradox goes, I know a lot of people were a little, not upset, but a little taken aback by the fact that it was just a ghost that you had to turn in a future war cult. But the first thing that
whichever
popped in,
faction you're pledged to.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was thinking future because of
I think Sir Miz was telling me I'd have to take it to New Monarchy, I think he said.
Oh, okay. So it is based on whatever faction you pledge your allegiance to.
I believe. Not 100% sure.
Well, the first thing that popped in my head as soon as that was the stuff that it came out of everybody's mouth that you were getting a ghost, I thought about Battlefield. And in Battlefield, there were the secret challenges that you could do that, you'd have to do something crazy. Get 100 tank kills, get 200 headshots with a specific sniper rifle or whatever, and it would unlock a step to an additional quest that would come out with the next DLC, and eventually it led you to some pretty sweet gear. You got some packs and stuff that you could open up. So when I saw that it was a ghost, that was my first impression that this was going to be the first step in the line of a few different steps that would ultimately lead us to another exotic like Black Spindle. What do you think?
No, I absolutely agree. I think the Taken King and their secrets are slowly trickling out. Some of them are going to be timed. I think there's secrets that we haven't found yet. I think there's secrets right now that we can find that we haven't found yet. But other secrets I think are slowly going to trickle out. And I'm still interested. Actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. But, yeah, I know. I love that we're still sitting here a month in, like, what's next? What are they going to surprise us with next? We keep turning on the console, we keep getting new diverted missions or new missions in general, and it's just like, it's an exciting time to be playing Destiny for sure.
Oh my goodness, dude, isn't it an exciting time? I mean, when's the last time you've heard multiple people say, I can't wait for the daily tomorrow to see if there's something inside of it? I mean, just you can't wait for the daily. Usually that was the one thing I skipped
I was like,
before TTK.
I don't need shards.
Right? I don't need any shards, but now it's like, I want those freaking marks, number one. And number two, if you're the guy that missed out on, Black Spindle and you didn't know about it, it's like, oh my goodness. So that gives people a reason to play the daily. And speaking of things trickling out and reasons to play the game, Sleeper Simulant has made its way into the Taken King. Now, I know we've talked about it here on DTP and all the theories and everything that came out, but now we know for sure that it is in the game, and the first step to the quest line was just available today. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So from as soon as it's funny because I was just telling you how I had watched a thing about some guys who put up a video on Reddit, I believe it was yesterday, and they were talking about already obtaining this Sleeper Simulant, and they didn't want to. They just posted this really grainy video of a Sleeper Simulant completely maxed out and kind of hovering over its stats and stuff. And they didn't reveal gamer tag. They didn't reveal how they got it. They didn't show gameplay of the Sleeper Simulant. And there was a few debunks, like just, if you go into a heavy weapon and watch it, like they kind of bob up and down very, very slowly. There's also some circles in the background that actually move, and in their video, none of those things were happening on that screen. So it was kind of debunked pretty quickly, but it was just funny to me because it was like these guys were basically saying on Reddit, like, we'll tell y'all how we got it when we feel ready to tell y'all how we got it. And then the very next day, oh, no, they don't have it, because even if there was question, there's the quest line now.
Right, so the questions have been answered. You do not have it, and for those of you out there listening, it's not available yet. Can you walk us through how to get it roughly, even if you don't remember all the exact steps?
Oh, I remember the steps. I wouldn't be able to really read out the codes because I don't remember those.
Right.
But basically, you're going to have a new quest that sends you down into Rasputin's area again. I forgot the quest name, but you go down to Rasputin's area, and just like before, you're going to have waves and waves of mobs, and it's going to be Taken Knights and Hive Knights. Now, it's important how they spawn in, because those knights actually tell you the code by how they spawn in to actually do the code yourself. Now, if you don't want to figure it out, you can watch videos, you can see it on Twitter. But basically, once you do that, you get, I forgot, it was like a transmitter, and you had to put in 4 different sets of codes. And once you had the codes correctly entered, the transmitter would then start transmitting. Which then sent you to the Cade Stash mission, which became basically, it spawns you right at the part where it's like you'd already moved the crane and you jump up into the Cade Stash area, and it's a race against the clock to get to the top and kill 3 wizards. In this mission, you don't have to kill anything on the way up. The only thing that's required is that you get to the very top where you fought the Shade of Orcs before, and that you open the chest so that the ads start spawning in, and then you kill the 3 wizards.
Before you go on, it's important to note, to get that first mission, the one that you were talking about, it's called the First Firewall, by the way. To get that mission, you have to have acquired all 4 of the fusion rifles from the wild that you go and turn in to Banshee 44. There are 4 of them per character, per character that you can get. And if you don't have that, you won't see the little purple triangle highlighting that mission. So anyway, go ahead, Xero.
Yeah, and so basically then after that you get a core, and I forgot the name because it's a weird name. And when you open this core, it says it needs to be repaired. And so when you open the core, it's basically got like little placeholders within the core that have these hints to what you need to do next. And just spoilers alerts, if you don't want to hear this, probably skip this part, but just to get straight into it, it sends you to like the Archive on Venus mission, it sends you to, or it actually has you dismantle a heavy weapon, has you, trying to think, what was the other thing? Dismantle heavy.
The other were the war sets.
And then the war sets. I thought there were 6.
And that heavy can be a year 1 or a year 2. So
but it needs to
grab
be
one of your old one.
Or,
yeah, it does need to be legendary. Grab one of your 160s.
Yeah. And so once you do that, you basically have a repaired core, and you will turn that in at the to Banshee, and he basically kind of just lets it linger. Like, I need to, people got to look at this. We got to, basically talk about this, and we'll see you soon. I'm thinking we'll probably hear something by Arms Day next week. Mm-hmm. Seems to be the theme with Banshee is he's not talking to us until Arms Day.
Right.
Being that Arms Day was today and that this all happened, I mean, it's very suiting that we'll probably see something on Arms Day next week.
Yeah, I just want to talk for a second just about the presentation of this quest line and how they set it up. It's if you watched any of the conspiracy theory videos, if you will, leading up to the Sleeper Simulant, it was all it revolved around a 24-bit code that somebody found in one of the terminals in Rasputin's bunker. And I thought it was just genius because there's a step to this quest where you have to put in the code. It's like similar to the binary 101s. You know what I mean? So right. You go through and you put in these specific codes. And if you need those, go check Dado. Dado will show you the codes there in his video. Check his channel out for those, or anybody else that you like to watch. They're most likely going to have that up. But I just thought the overall presentation, even the first name of that mission, the first firewall, it's all computer related. And I just thought that was pretty clever. And I'm sure to a lot of people are like, who gives a crap? But to me, it's the small things that matter. And right. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Well, one thing that's interesting is part of that whole conspiracy thing is that they actually pinpointed a date of November 10th or something like that, 2015, right. Which coincided with, and this is all part of this conspiracy, like they coincided with the stealth jet, and that it was supposedly modeled after, but it was years ago that it was kept secret, and now so like this is like Bungie's Easter egg. I'm still wondering if that might be relevant, like that date. I mean, I'm not saying that the date's relevant to Sleeper Simulant, but it might be relevant to something in Destiny. The fact that it's right. there and it's been that a code was cracked and that's the date that popped up. I mean, that's a very specific date. So I still got my calendar marked for that day in
November 10th.
Yeah, it's the same day that Fallout 4 comes out.
Right, that's true. So that is true.
People think that. I was just going to say, people think that Bungie is going to do something with that code to divert people's attention from Fallout 4, keep them in Destiny.
Well, hopefully they bring their big guns because they will need it. Also, I was watching Gathalion's video, and he was even suggesting that this whole process could take us a month, which would lead us to November 10th. So I'm not sure. I'm with you that I think it'll most likely we'll hear something, or there'll be another step to this quest by next Arms Day.
Yeah.
But he definitely had me leaning towards the possibility of this whole quest line taking a month to complete. So
yeah,
I guess we will have to wait and see. But
maybe that's the hard mode raid date.
Ooh, now that's a mind freak right there. If that's hard mode, that would be freaking nuts. And
that would be nuts.
Well, you just created an amazing segue for us. Speaking of hard mode and future content, we actually heard some information about Destiny's Year 2 plan. One being the microtransactions, the dreaded microtransactions that everybody had talked about. And 2 being that the DLC for the rest of this year, for the rest of the entirety of Destiny 1, could be free. And that they're going to experiment with giving us DLCs that randomly drop in small time events, probably similar to the Queen's Wrath stuff that we had to do back in the day. So yeah, what do you think about all that?
Well, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos today to see what people thought about microtransactions, just to kind of get the feel of the landscape of Destiny players, especially the YouTubers, how they're feeling about that. a lot of negativity. A lot of negativity around it. I honestly think that microtransactions, in the sense that they're just cosmetic, is fine. Like, especially if a new raid comes out and you can play it, or new, Crucible maps come out, you can go play them. Like, I'm on board. People that want to buy, the extras will, and they'll support Destiny for people who don't want to, spend that money. And that's not no problem. League of Legends does this, where there's a great majority of people that, don't buy anything in that game. They play for free completely, day after day. And then there's, the smaller minority and that buy, just about everything Riot puts out.
Right.
And, Riot has like one of the most successful video games of our generation. So I don't see a problem with it. This is a concern I've had for Destiny for a long time. They talked about new stuff to do in Destiny every day, having new content, daily stuff for Destiny. And I was like, how can they do that without money coming in? They need more than a one-time fee to buy the new DLC or the new, expansion that, has money coming in consistently month after month.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much their initial, how much money they initially had to make this game. That doesn't matter. How do you keep getting money to come in? Well, you need stuff like this, and this is how they can start bringing in money on a monthly basis and actually, create things like Queen's Bounty and stuff like that, where it's actually worthy content. It's not like this stuff where it's like, oh, well, we have this and it's not that great, but it's something because we don't, we don't have the money to, pour all these resources into creating content for free.
Absolutely. The one thing that I did hear from some people was, that kind of got me thinking, was when we were having the Red Bull focus codes thing, and how if you didn't get that focus XP, you weren't able to level your character up to 40 immediately. So the worry that I heard from people was, well, what if they decide to release the raid at launch and there's something tied to it like that Red Bull XP code? Anybody who didn't decide to buy that code would be out of luck for going after World's First or anything like that. So that was the one major gripe that I heard from people. And I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know. I heard something similar to that as well about what if they start selling engrams for real money? I'm like, why would they do that?
Right.
That's not conducive to making Destiny a successful game for people to play. It's not conducive for people to sit there and be able to buy the exotics. Like, they want people in this game playing this game. They don't want people just being able to buy whatever the hell they want in the game and then being like, oh, there's nothing to do in this game. I own everything.
Right. That shortens the lifespan of it.
Right.
Well, it's definitely an interesting one for sure.
I think if my only complaints for anything they do microtransaction wise is when it becomes limited to regions. If Europe can't get it, if China, whoever can't get it, for any reason outside of the government of that area,
right,
banning it or whatever, like if it's like the Red Bull thing and it's like, oh, this is only in the United States, like then I have a problem. It's like, do not do that to your player base. Don't split us up like that.
Right.
Give everybody the opportunity to buy the crap they want.
Absolutely, and it's more money in their pockets. They should be ecstatic about that regardless. So we could go on about this, I'm sure, for another 20 minutes, but we're going to let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section letting us know what you think. Is Destiny Year 2 without microtransactions a game you want to see, or are you okay with seeing these microtransactions that are all cosmetic? If you like these types of conversations, you can also check us out every Friday on twitch.tv/AimAssistGaming, where we talk about this type of stuff and more. I am Hambone, he's No Zero, and we'll see you when we see you.
Popos.